Hey, welcome to Squarebody Stuff. I'm Chad. We're going to be working on Squeaky some more. In my last video, I was done an axle flip, and it was a little bit lower than what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do and I kind of explained it in the last video, what my plans were, and to do it in another video. So this is the other video. Yeah, just sitting a little bit too low in the back. So here's what I'm going to do with the rear end to get it up to the height that I want it, roughly. So the plans is it's sitting a little bit too low for me in the back. Yeah, I've got camera set up and everything over there, but it's just squatting a little bit too much. When I'm looking through the viewer here on the camera, it don't look as bad. So I'm not really sure what you guys are noticing or seeing, but in real life, it seems like it's sagging quite a bit in the back. The old boy's got a full diaper or something. But what I'm going to do is take one of these. Well, I've got a pair of them. These are spring hangers off of a four-wheel drive. Half ton, 3/4 ton, they're both the same. I'm going to replace them with, or put these on there in place of the two-wheel drive ones, but you can see there's quite a bit of difference. I haven't actually measured it out to know for sure how many inches it is, but I think it's going to gain me about 1.5 inches of lift going back the direction I want to be going. I've got a little bit of weight off of it right now with the cherry picker, which it's actually sitting right now kind of where I'm thinking it's gonna sit. But also keep in mind, I'm trying to keep in my mind that there's absolutely no weight up front, no engine, no transmission, no sheet metal, no radiator, no nothing up front. But also, I don't have a bed on the back either, so I've got a lot of weight missing on both ends. And honestly, if the truck sits a little bit high in the front, whenever it's done, I'll be fine with that. If nothing else, I'll just I'll pull the coils out and maybe cut a coil off or something like that, just get the front end down a little bit lower. But the main thing is I need to keep this back end up high enough, because of the 8-lug wheels I have for to fit this axle are 15 inches, and they only got like a 2-inch back spacing or 2.5-inch back spacing, so it sticks the tires way out. So if I'm not careful, it's going to set too low, and my tires are going to hit the fender on the outside. So, but what I plan on doing, my plans are, which everybody knows how plans go, they usually don't go very well for me. My plans is to get those hangers on, get that set right. I've got an old engine block, and I'll probably take that block and stick the transmission on it, stick it back in the truck for mock-up. That way I can get my pinion angle right, measure for my drive shaft. That way I know I'm right there, and then I can, once I get my pinion angle set right and everything, then I can really concentrate on my shock mounts, because these shock mounts ain't going to work. Not at all. Well, at least not where they're at. And been trying to wrap my mind around what I'm going to do with them. But until I actually get everything set where it needs to be or where it's going to be, I'm just kind of, sitting in the dark. I don't know yet. So I need to get a few things done first, and then I can worry about the shock mounts. The other thing I want to put a mock-up block in here for is because I got these bad boys in yesterday. Got some Schoenfeld fender well exit headers. I want to make sure that they're going to fit right. Once I get the engine ready to go and put in here, I don't want to have to monkey around with that. I can go ahead and mock it up, stick a set of heads on there. It looks like this side's going to be a little tight around the brake lines, which I'm going to redo the brake lines anyways, because I got to put a proportioning valve on the rear brakes since I'm going to disc on the back. I'm going to get rid of the factory proportioning valve, or whatever you guys want to call it. So those brake lines can move around. As long as it clears my steering shaft, I'll be fine. So this is, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of work, but other than the kind of the time crunch I'm on, trying to get this done by a certain time, that's the only thing that really stresses me out about this kind of work. I mean, I really enjoy the building process. I really do. It's just as much fun for me as it is driving them sometimes. So just trying to figure things out. You do one thing and then it changes 2 or 3 other things, and you gotta, it's a process. That's something to keep in mind if you guys are, planning on or in the middle of a build right now and it's like getting overwhelmed. That's part of the process. You can only see so far in the future on what's going to happen if you change something, especially drastically. I mean, I knew I was going to have to change the shock mounts. I knew my pinion angle, I was going to have to refigure that, and my drive shaft length. I thought, well, I might be able to just kind of fudge a little bit, but, I've got enough stuff lined up to where, I want to fit the headers. I want to make sure my transmission is in there to where I can set my pinion angle right. So, yeah, it's just, sometimes you got to take a few extra steps and spend a little extra time. That way your end result is the way you want it to be. Because if you fudge a little bit here, fudge a little bit there, well, 3 or 4 fudges end up in a big fudge, and something just ain't going to work right. So now's the time when you're in the middle of building something to just take your time, even if you're on a deadline. Just still yet take your time, because the time spent now could save a lot of extra time in the end whenever, if you missed a few steps just because you're trying to go fast, you can spend a lot of extra time on the end trying to make it right, undo a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to avoid that and trying to enjoy it. So I'm going to get busy, just set some cameras up. Well, I got those done. Of course, right now they're just grade 5 bolts. I just had some of those laying around. I'll have to get grade 8 bolts to put in those hangers, so disregard that. I'll be putting grade 8 in there. And probably doing some more painting because I didn't have enough paint. But right now I'm just kind of still in the mock-up stages, which I was hoping to be done with this yesterday, but hey, no big deal. Let me turn the camera around and show you what we got. See if you can tell any difference. Of course, I didn't take any measurements before from the very beginning or from now. I didn't take any measurements, so I don't really know how many inches to tell you. I've lowered it, raised it back up. Don't have none of that. I didn't take any measurements. But I can tell by the way it looks, it's probably about 1.5 inches higher at the axle, between the frame and the axle, approximately about 1.5 inches higher than what it was before I put these longer hangers on. So let's take a look at it, see what you guys think. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell much of a difference, but there is some. Now I do have the option, if I want to go a little bit higher. I don't have any front four-wheel drive hangers, which are lower also. I don't have any spare ones. I'd have to cut them off a truck, and I really don't want to do that. I've only got one truck out there that's got any on them, and I don't want to take that truck apart just for these. So, but what I could do is I do have enough room that I can cut these rivets, and I can move this hanger down, maybe 1 inch, 1.5 inches. But really, you know, for every inch, or how should I explain this? I explained it in the last video. If you move one end of your spring down or up, either way, but you don't move the other, if you move this side, say we move this side 2 inches down this way, we're only gaining 1 inch in the middle. You only gain about half of what you move it. So really, if I was to move this down 1 inch, 1.5 inches to kind of get some of these holes lined back up, I'd have to drill new holes. But I'd only be gaining at the most 1 inch at my axle. So I'm not sure if all that's worth 1 inch or not. I think I'm just gonna deal with what I got for now and see where we're at. So my next course of action, or plan of action, however you want to word it, is I want to go ahead and get my drag tires, my slicks, and my skinnies for up front. I'm going to go ahead and put those on the truck. I'm going to get the mock-up engine or mock-up block and my transmission set in there, and probably wheel it outside and put the bed on it. Maybe add a little extra weight, couple cylinder heads or something on the front, just for maybe another 150, 200 pounds, just to make sure I'm maybe got the weight about where it's going to be, and maybe put a cylinder head or two in the back, at the very back, because that's where I'm going to have my fuel cell. Alright everybody, I've put a lot of work in today. Not going to lie, a little tired, a little wore out. Still got a little bit to go till I call it quits, but I've got enough done that I want to show you all. I'm pretty excited about how it's turned out. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Right now, I'm not even worried about not having an engine. I don't care. This thing looks cool. My vision is starting to come, through. Yeah, that's the coolest part of a build. Whenever you get to that point where, man, it's really starting to take shape. I mean, that's cool. So, I'm going to show you guys what I got going on. You may approve, you may disapprove. I don't care. It's my truck. I'm having fun with it, and hopefully you guys are enjoying watching me have fun with my truck, because I'm just like a little kid. This is fun for me. So here we go. Are you ready? All right. Now, first off, you'll notice if you look back there, that tire is touching the fender well. let's not worry about that right now. Don't worry about that little guy. Check out these guys up here. Check out those headers. They fit perfectly. Just a little bit close to the vacuum pod on the brakes, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to be going solid motor mounts, so that really is not going to matter. I'm not worried about that, but it clears the steering arm, clears the frame. They go straight down, and my ideas are, when I'm at the track, have something that comes out just below the fender or below the door or something like that. But for the street, have something I could put on there that goes from this point all the way under, because the factory tank's not going to be there. And then come straight up the back of the cab and have some stacks on him. I know, that's a little redneck. Some people don't like stacks. Stacks are for diesel trucks, but I think it would really set him off. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Good or bad, just let me know what you think. Obviously, you know I'm going to do what I want to by this point, if you've been watching. But man, I'm just super excited about how this is turning out now. I'm glad this has been a little bit of extra work to do this, mock everything up. I just put that junk block I've had sitting out in the weeds. Got the transmission in there so I can get my pinion angle and my drive shaft length and all that. I went ahead and just set the intake and the carb and all there, or the intake and carb on there, just to get a little more, a little more idea what it might look like. We come back to this angle here. He's actually looking pretty good, a little bit high in the front. I'm not worried about doing anything yet to the front. But yes, the bed is just sitting on the tire. So this fender looks okay, but it is actually full of Bondo. You kind of see where you might be able to see where it's cracked right there in that corner. It's full of Bondo. These fenders are not perfect. I'm not cutting up, I'm not going to be doing anything to anything special. So let me show you my idea. I've already committed to it because the other side's already done. So let's just see where I'm going with this. So here's what I've decided to do. Now, it is opened up a lot. But at the very top, it's like 4 inches, and from the frame to the axle, I have about 3.5. So with these tires, I should never hit the fenders, and that's the main thing I'm worried about right now. I mean, right now my main concern is get this thing so I could take it to No Name Nationals and in Sikeston, Missouri at the end of September. Now I'm gonna maybe put the militaries on here just to see if they'll fit, but if they don't fit, I'm not gonna worry about it too much. The big 37-inch military tires. But if they don't fit, I'm not going to worry about it too much right now, because really right now I'm just concerned about getting this thing ready for No Name Nationals. Now after No Name Nationals, there may be several things that I want to change or do different. It's going to be a little bit of a test session for it. I might go ahead and back it back in the shop and try to slap one of the military tires on it just to see what it looks like. Yeah, let's do that. I think you guys might be interested in seeing that. I want to see it. I won't be able to sleep unless I see that. So let's do that real quick. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I like it. I really do. It'd look better if the tires were clean and not nasty and muddy, but yeah, I mean, it's a little close there on the fender well, but nothing I can't live with. Now I won't run those tires on the street either, so we'll pretend that those aren't there and that we're going to be running the other Hurricanes up front, which are a little bit taller. They're quite a bit taller than those, but that will get the truck sitting still Still a little bit low in the back, but with the big tires, it kind of, I don't know, makes up the difference. I don't know, what do you think? I mean, this right here will give me a decent road gear to drive around the street, and it just looks kind of different. I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you guys watching. Don't know if you'd really learn anything from this video. It's just kind of catching you guys up on what I'm doing with this whole truck. I appreciate you guys watching. So until next time, you'll keep your square bodies rolling, and we'll catch you later.